the Honda S2000. So a lot of you have been asking me to do an unboxing review of this fantastic sports car roadster, and I finally got around to doing it. I'm Jay, and this is Car Buzz Unboxing Reviews. So right, the Honda S2000, one of the best sports cars of the late 1990s and through the first part of the new millennium here. And I also want to thank DG.com for letting Car Buzz come on down and film today. So the Honda S2000, a little brief history about it. The first generation hit the market in 1999, and it was on sale until 2003. The second generation, which is the one you see here, hit the market in 2004, and it was on sale until 2009. So yeah, 10 years was the entire life cycle of the Honda S2000, and this particular one is a 2006 model. And I'll talk about more of the interior in just a few minutes, but just notice how bare bones it is. It's just simple, it's straightforward, and just purely functional. And yes, that is a 6-speed manual. But before I go any further here, I want you to listen to this engine. So let's start that. Alright, so that was a 2.2 liter naturally aspirated inline-4, of course Honda's VTEC technology, with 240 horsepower, available at 7,800 RPM, and 162 pound-feet of torque, available at 6,500 RPM. Now, power goes to the rear wheels through a 6-speed manual. The one you saw, there is no automatic offered, there was no dual clutch offered with paddle shifters, nothing, nada. There was only a 6-speed manual for both generations. And this exterior, this is what they called a Laguna Blue Pearl. It's got these 17-inch wheels. Now, compared to the first generation, they're built on the same platform. This car, it has new front and rear bumpers, restyled headlight assemblies, and LED taillights, along with oval-tipped exhausts. So, unless you're very familiar with the Honda S2000, if you were to compare the 1999 model as opposed to the 2004 or this 2006 model, the differences are from the exterior as well as the interior they're fairly subtle. Basically, Honda just kind of took a few things they thought about the first generation that needed to be tweaked and improved, and they just went ahead and did it. So, performance here. Now, it's going to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds. 0 to 115 seconds flat, and the standing quarter mile has been timed at 14.1 seconds and 97 miles per hour. Top speed is about 149 miles per hour. So you got to remember, this thing is not all about just pure speed. It's about just being behind the wheel and driving fun and purity at that. Kind of like a Mazda MX-5 Miata, but I don't know, it's like it's been given a dose of steroids, if you'd say. Now, some of you may be wondering, where does the S2000 name come from? Well, it's very simple. It's engine displacement, the first generation car at least, of 2 liters. Now, Honda also built, if you know your Honda sports car history, the S500, the S600, and the S800 roadsters in the 1960s. So, going with the name S2000, especially in 1999, just before the new millennium when it came out, it just made perfect sense. So what's the fuel economy for something like this? Well, it's actually pretty decent. 18 miles per gallon in the city, 25 on the highway. Total weight, just about 2,840 pounds. And just to compare, a Mazda MX-5 Miata is around 2,300 pounds. So this is a bit heavier. It's also slightly bigger. It's got a bigger and more powerful engine at that, so the extra weight is justified. And speaking of engines, here it is. Now, these Honda VTEC engines, let me tell you, they are just bulletproof. And this one is, I mean, look, this car is a decade old, and this engine looks fantastic. Now, the first generation engine, it was a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, also VTEC, but with 240 horsepower. which was exactly the same output, but peak output developed at 8,300 RPM instead of 7,800 RPM. Now, torque was also down at 153 pound-feet at 7,500 RPM. Now, look at this interior here. Yeah, this two-tone black and blue leather. And for a car, again, that's 10 years old, its previous owner or owners just took such good care of it. This leather is in excellent shape. And as you can tell in here, everything, it's basic. It's no nonsense. You have like a CD player and radio, air conditioning, power locks and windows, and that's that's essentially about it. But it just kind of goes to show you don't need much in a real true sports car. Because look at it in a way, the Porsche Boxer and Cayman today, they're almost luxury cars in many aspects. And they're filled with electronic gizmos, but no, this is more analog driving purity here. What don't you see? An infotainment screen. Nothing to talk about there. Because the whole point is you should be focusing on the road instead of some big 6, 7, or 8 inch screen in the center of the dash. What's kind of cool is you put the key in the ignition and then you press the start-stop button on the other side of the steering wheel. And from the driver's seat, look, it's just an ideal driving position. And notice how it's really, really driver focused here. The front seat passenger, the only passenger, has literally nothing to look at. They have an airbag. That's about it. And an air conditioning vent. And take a look where the air conditioning controls are. Right in front of the driver, next to the steering wheel there. And if you look at the tachometer and all that, and speedometer area, again, yeah, it looks like it's 10 years old, but that's fine. I also like this cover here that covers this CD player and radio. The S2000 logo on it. So what's the competition for something like this? Well, I would go with the previous generation Mazda MX-5 Miata, but that had less horsepower, say around 200 or so. But then there's also the previous generation Porsche Boxer, BMW Z4, Nissan 350Z Touring, as well as the older Audi TT Roadster. So with the exception of maybe the Nissan, those are all German cars. They're more expensive than this Japanese-built Honda here. And yeah, but you gotta also know the S2000 was quite a bit more money than a Mazda MX-5 Miata. So I would sort of place this in between, but I gotta be honest with you, this Honda S2000 is more fun to drive than some of those German competitors there, which all cost more. And speaking of cost, what does this cost? Well, as you probably saw on the front windshield earlier, this has a sticker price of $22,431. When they were selling for new, again, a decade ago, it was around 34 grand. So they weren't cheap, but I don't know, still losing, 12 grand in value over the past 10 years is really not ridiculously bad. In terms of some basic safety, you get electronic stability control, which was also new for 2006 at the time, dual airbags, ABS brakes. So yeah, it drives just fine. And I like this, the power soft top here. Now in the Mazda MX-5 Miata, that is a manual soft top. So yeah, this is a small upgrade, I'd say. Now, Honda also introduced various final edition trims. It was mainly one that they just renamed for different markets. In the US, in 2009, the Club Racer, or otherwise known as the CR, came out. And only 1,500 examples of those were made. And it featured slightly quicker steering and a generally more communicative ride. The stock roof, spare tire, hood, and cabin insulation, and other bits were removed in order to cut down on weight. The radio and air conditioner, gone, but they were still optional. And in place of the deleted soft top, there was a 48-pound aluminum hard top. But without the hardtop, radio, and AC, the Club Racer CR Edition weighed 99 pounds less than a regular S2000. And then it also had a body kit which consisted of a new front lip and rear spoiler. So the Club Racer, it was a more aggressive version of an already fairly aggressive car. And in Japan, it was called the Type S. Only a little over 1,700 of those were built. Again, like the CR, it had weight loss and a body kit, and it was a farewell gift to S2000 fans from Honda. Oh, and in Europe, they had the Ultimate Edition, and in the UK, they had the GT Edition. Also launched in 2009, and it marked the end of S2000 production. And as you saw by the trunk there, yeah, it's spacious enough considering this is a two-seat roadster. It's bigger than the Mazda MX-5's trunk, but yeah, it just goes to show you can drive this S2000 on a daily basis. So what do I like? Well, it's a purist driver's car, and it's something we don't see much anymore. Today's purist driver's cars are the MX-5 Miata, Toyota G86, and the Subaru BRZ. And like I said, this car, it's a classic and standing the test of time in both design and performance. Now, what don't I like? Well, it can be a bit rough to handle for those who don't know what they're doing. It's not a beginner's driver's car. One of those beginner's driver's cars, again, would be the MX-5 or the BRZ. This is something you kind of graduate up to once you've mastered that type of car. And the other thing I don't like about it is they don't make it anymore. And that's something none of us can do about it. Now, will there be a successor of some sort from Honda in the semi-near future? Possibly. But it'll probably come back as a hybrid of some sort. But Honda has just not been very committed to going back into the two-seat roadster business just because, well, it's not very profitable. This is a niche segment within the car industry here, and you really have to find the right buyers. And first off, there has to be enough of those buyers out there who are interested. Now, if you're also in the market for an S2000, bear something in mind. A lot of previous owners modified them heavily, and sometimes the work was really good. Other times, it was not so good. So if you want one, look for one in excellent condition like this one. And if you have any more questions for me, leave them for me in the comment section. And be sure to check out my next unboxing review. So see you next time.